You're being lied to. Every time someone says, save your money, play it safe, or just work hard, they're feeding you a script that was never written for people like Rockefeller. While the masses were being taught to cut coupons and fear risk, John D. Rockefeller was doing the exact opposite. He wasn't saving pennies, he was buying influence, buying land, buying silence, and above all, he was making money move like a weapon, not like a pillow. The harsh truth is this: Rockefeller didn't become the richest man in history by following the same rules the banks and schools taught you. He played a different game, one where money is never stored, it's deployed, where savings rot but ownership multiplies. And while others prayed for stability, he created monopolies. You're here now because you know deep down that something about what you were told doesn't add up, and you're right. In this video, we're going to destroy the myths that keep you poor and expose how Rockefeller weaponized wealth to dominate every competitor he faced. If you're ready to stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a war general, stay until the end. Because what you're about to see isn't financial advice, it's financial war. And if you don't use it, someone else will, against you. Lesson 1. Don't spend to impress. Invest to dominate. The first lesson Rockefeller would tattoo into your mindset is simple and brutal. Stop spending to impress people who don't care. Most people burn their income trying to look rich. Rockefeller did the opposite. He lived modestly, spoke softly, and let his wealth grow louder than his words. While others flashed their coins, he accumulated empires. Understand this: power comes not from display, but from control, and money that's shown is money that's no longer working for you. He watched competitors buy carriages, mansions, attention. He bought oil fields, he bought silence, he bought leverage. Every dollar not used to grow something strategic was considered a betrayal of future power. You want to act rich? Fine. But know this: the truly rich hide their strength until it matters. That's why Rockefeller didn't buy watches. He bought time. He didn't chase fashion. He bought the companies that dictated it. Never spend to look strong. Invest to become untouchable. Now break that down into your daily behavior. Every time you buy what doesn't build, you delay your empire. Every time you flex, you weaken your grip. That's not frugality. That's dominance. Rockefeller didn't save money because he feared poverty. He preserved capital because it was the raw fuel of control. The less you need to show, the more dangerous you become. Power, in its purest form, is invisible. What makes you truly wealthy isn't what others see. It's what they can't take from you. Discipline, ownership, position. Don't fight for applause. Fight for assets. Stop buying things that rot. Buy ground that others will kneel on. That's Rockefeller. That's the code. Lesson 2. Protect the flow, not the flash. Rockefeller didn't chase status, he protected systems. While other men were flaunting mansions and yachts, he was buying pipelines, storage facilities, railroads, the invisible arteries of wealth. His genius wasn't in what he showed, it was in what he controlled. Most people focus on the flash, cars, watches, brands. Rockefeller focused on the flow, cash flow, supply chains, resource movement. That's why his empire survived crises and his competitors didn't. He understood a basic rule of power: whoever controls the flow controls the game. The modern world rewards the same principle. The ones who control platforms, logistics, and information pipelines shape the future. The rich today don't just own real estate, they own servers, algorithms, attention streams. That's Rockefeller 2.0. Most people still think wealth is in what you wear. It's not. It's in what no one sees. That's why Rockefeller lived conservatively but moved billions. He built a fortress, not from gold, but from leverage. Strategic, quiet leverage. Lesson 2 isn't about cutting costs. It's about investing in systems that sustain you no matter what. If your income relies on attention, trends, or short-term hype, you're a peasant in designer clothes. But if your money moves through systems that generate value whether you're awake or not, you've just stepped into Rockefeller's world. He didn't fear the storm because he owned the umbrella factory. And every time rain came, he got richer. Lesson 3. Protect the core. Before you expand, Rockefeller understood a truth most entrepreneurs forget. If the foundation cracks, the tower collapses. His empire wasn't built by chasing every shiny opportunity. It was built by reinforcing the core before expanding. While others rushed into volatile industries or tried to diversify too early, Rockefeller focused on making his oil operations unbreakable. He created pipelines when others depended on railroads. He bought refineries to control every step. He didn't just grow, he fortified. In money, this means protecting your primary source of income before gambling with side ventures. Don't invest in stocks before you've mastered your cash flow. Don't buy crypto before you have an emergency fund. Don't chase 20% returns when you're drowning in 18% credit card interest. The poor scatter. The rich consolidate. Protect the base. Then strike outward. Your financial strength is not what you own. It's what no one can take from you. Rockefeller's genius wasn't just making money. It was never being vulnerable while making it. That's power. That's control. Lesson 4. Secrecy protects power. Rockefeller didn't boast. He built empires in silence. While others made headlines, he made deals. That wasn't modesty. It was strategy. He knew that money, when exposed, becomes a target. The moment people see your hand, they start calculating how to steal, copy, or destroy it. Rockefeller protected his fortune by scattering it across shell companies, obscure trusts, and proxies so well hidden that even modern investigators struggle to map it. This wasn't by accident. It was the application of an old rule: power multiplies in the dark. When your enemies don't know what you own, they don't know where to hit. When they don't know your next move, they can't prepare a counter. This is how Rockefeller survived scandals, political attacks, and even government regulation. Not by fighting, by disappearing when necessary. Most people think showing wealth is a sign of success. Rockefeller saw it as a liability. He didn't post luxury. He didn't explain moves. He let the world underestimate him, then overwhelmed it with results. He wasn't just rich. He was untouchable. Want to protect what you're building? Stop announcing. Start concealing. Let your ambition speak only through your actions. Let your enemies attack shadows while you shape reality in silence. That's not cowardice. That's dominance. Lesson 5. Delay gratification, multiply results. John D. Rockefeller didn't just build wealth. He expanded it strategically, like a general extending territory, only when supplies were abundant and enemies outmaneuvered. One of his core disciplines was the ability to delay gratification. While others cashed out early, celebrated quick wins, or flaunted wealth in search of validation, Rockefeller reinvested. He understood something most people never learn. Money grows when time and discipline are your allies. Spending feels like a reward, but in the game of power, restraint is the real flex. When Standard Oil began generating massive profits, Rockefeller didn't inflate his lifestyle overnight. He scaled his operations, purchased competitors, and strengthened his infrastructure, turning short-term profit into long-term domination. His discipline allowed him to accumulate not just money, but leverage. By reinvesting rather than consuming, he made his empire anti-fragile, immune to short-term shocks and capable of absorbing others' losses. Most people sabotage their future for the illusion of progress. They celebrate a paycheck by spending it. They build a business and immediately upgrade their lifestyle. Rockefeller did the opposite. He used early gains to widen the moat. He delayed pleasure to ensure permanence. In doing so, he turned time into an ally. And time, when aligned with compounding capital, becomes unstoppable. This is not about living miserably. It's about choosing power over impulse, about trading quick highs for eternal control. To apply this today, don't just think save more. Think buy strength. Every dollar not spent is not just saved. It's redirected to build your fortress. Use restraint not as a sacrifice, but as a strategy. Channel Rockefeller. Delay the applause, delay the celebration, and when the world burns, you'll be the one still standing, expanding while others panic. Lesson 6. Money is a weapon, not a pillow. You've been lied to. Every time someone says, save your money, play it safe, or just work hard, they're feeding you a script designed to keep you in line, not to set you free. Rockefeller heard the same lies. He ignored every single one, because he understood a truth the masses still run from. Money isn't comfort, it's a weapon. And if you treat it like a safety net, you'll always live under someone else's net. He didn't save for peace of mind. He deployed capital like ammunition. He didn't store. He struck. He didn't hoard. He conquered. While others prayed for security, he carved out monopolies. He didn't build an emergency fund. He became the emergency. When crises came, Rockefeller didn't panic. He bought. He used downturns to devour competitors. Because to him, recessions weren't threats. They were feeding grounds. Here's what you were never told. The system doesn't want you to think like Rockefeller. It wants you to be obedient, cautious, predictable. Because dangerous people, the ones who use money as a tool for leverage, not a symbol of safety, can't be manipulated. So now, the decision is yours. Do you keep playing soft, saving for a future someone else will control, or do you sharpen every dollar like a blade? Do you build a bunker or build an empire? Rockefeller didn't rest on money, he launched attacks with it. And if you want his results, you need his mentality. Lesson 7. Money doesn't sleep. Neither should your assets. Rockefeller didn't just believe in working hard. He believed in making money work harder. While most people slept, his assets were multiplying. His oil refineries didn't rest. His railroads didn't blink. His systems didn't take weekends off. Because Rockefeller understood one brutal truth. If your income stops when you stop, you are not free. You're leased. And most people live on borrowed freedom. He didn't hustle for hourly wages. He hunted systems that produced wealth 24/7. Every dollar he earned was given a job. Every investment was chained to performance. If it didn't produce, it was replaced. That's the mindset. Your money works, or it dies. And if it's sleeping in a savings account, it's already dead. You think you're playing it safe by letting your money rest. Rockefeller would call that sabotage. Because money left idle rots. But money given to structure, pressure, and purpose becomes exponential. He didn't wait for opportunity, he built ecosystems that manufactured it. Today, this looks like digital infrastructure, automated business, scalable offers, royalties. But the principle hasn't changed. If you have to show up for every dollar, you don't own wealth, you rent it. The rich don't trade time for money, they trade systems for empires. So ask yourself, what are your dollars doing while you sleep? If the answer is nothing, then you're still Rockefeller's prey, not his peer. Try. Lesson 8. Stop playing defense. Start buying power. Most people spend their whole lives playing financial defense. They cut back on coffee, track every expense, and celebrate saving $20 on a sale, as if that's how empires are built. Rockefeller would have laughed, not because saving is wrong, but because it's not the game. You don't win by avoiding loss. You win by buying control. control over markets, control over supply, control over narrative. Rockefeller didn't shrink his life. He expanded his grip. He wasn't trying to survive inflation. He was manipulating supply to set the prices. He wasn't saving pennies. He was acquiring the companies that controlled the distribution of wealth. Here's the truth. No one teaches. Saving protects you. Ownership empowers you. Rockefeller didn't want financial comfort. He wanted to own the chessboard. And he did it by turning money into meaning power, not safety. When you buy power, you're no longer at the mercy of the system. You become the system. He bought legislators. He influenced policy. He wasn't worried about the rules, because he sat at the table where the rules were written. This isn't about becoming unethical. It's about understanding what money really is. A weapon, a shield, and a lever. Most people use it to escape risk. Rockefeller used it to command outcomes. If your money isn't buying you influence, freedom, or leverage, it's just slowly dying in a cage. Lesson 9. The wealth gap is not about money, it's about information. Everyone talks about the rich getting richer, but no one talks about EY. It's not just income, it's not just inheritance, it's access. Access to information, access to networks, access to timing, while the average person learns about opportunity through news headlines. Rockefeller created the headlines. He wasn't waiting for tips. He was sitting in rooms where information moved before the market did. That's the real gap, not money. Intel, strategy, speed, and that gap has only grown. Today, by the time most people hear about an opportunity, the rich have already bought it, squeezed it, and repackaged it for you at 3x the price. You're not late because you're lazy. You're late because you're outside the room. Rockefeller knew if you want power, you need to stop consuming information and start controlling it. That means building private circles. That means paying for proximity. That means understanding. Free knowledge is filtered knowledge. He didn't watch the markets. He moved on them. He didn't ask questions. He owned the answers. So next time you ask why the rich seem lucky, remember this. Luck is just information applied before the masses catch up. And if you're not playing the intel game, you're already a pawn in someone else's playbook. Lesson 10. Own the infrastructure, not the spotlight. Most people want to be seen. Rockefeller wanted to be irreplaceable. While others chased applause, he chased infrastructure. Because the real money doesn't come from being on stage. It comes from owning the stage, the lights, the sound system, and the tickets. He didn't care about credit. He cared about control. He let others talk, shine, pose, while he bought the rails their products shipped on, while he owned the factories, the transport, the fuel, and the politicians. He didn't need to be famous. He needed to be fundamental. And that's where you've been tricked. They told you to build a brand. He built the platform brands rely on. They told you to grow your audience. He bought in access to the audience's wallets. Spotlight fades. Infrastructure scales. Spotlight makes you vulnerable. Infrastructure makes you untouchable. Ask yourself, do you want claps or contracts? Do you want likes or leverage? Do you want to trend or to own what everyone else trends on? Because Rockefeller didn't die with followers. He died with systems that printed money for generations. If you want to build legacy, stop performing. Start owning. Because the ones who really run the world, you don't see them, but everything you touch, it runs through their hands. Vinícius, agora temos as 10 lições completas, com o tom mais afiado, denso e inédito sobre Rockefeller, cada uma com poder de virar corte de altíssimo valor. Quer que eu agora junte tudo num único documento narrativo contínuo para a edição do vídeo completo, ou prefere descrição plus tags primeiro? The Rockefeller Code. Now that you've heard the 10 lessons, burn the blueprint you were given, because everything they taught you about money was designed to keep you compliant, modest, predictable, replaceable. Rockefeller didn't follow that script. He rewrote it. He built in silence. He moved with precision, and he turned money from a tool of comfort into a weapon of domination. He didn't post, he didn't flex, he didn't wait. He commanded. And now you've seen how. So here's the truth. You can keep playing soft, or you can start playing like the man who turned oil into a throne, because in the end, this isn't about being rich. It's about being one so powerful they can't ignore you. It's about leverage that outlives you. It's about building a name that echoes, even in rooms you never step into. If you want applause, this wasn't your video. But if you want legacy, you just found the blueprint. Subscribe. Turn the bell on. Drop this video to someone who's still playing poor. And if you want to go deeper, join our Telegram, where we break the rules and build the empire. Because the next video, and once you see that, you'll never play small again. You've been warned. Now build like Rockefeller, or be built on.